the state institutions and the names that are running the critical positions of Iran have been appointed by him throughout the last 37 years. And now Ali Khamenei is no more.
Right. And so let's take a bit of a closer look at this, because the supreme leader is Iran's highest authority. And after the killing of Khamenei, we're going to take a look at some of the potential candidates, because the supreme leader is Iran's highest authority. And after the killing of Khamenei, we're going to take a look at some of the potential candidates, because the supreme leader does wield immense influence. He was after the killing of Khamenei, and we're going to take a look at some of the potential candidates, because the supreme leader does wield immense influence. He was after the killing of Khamenei, and we're going to take a look at some of the potential candidates, because the supreme leader does wield immense influence. He was after the killing of Khamenei, and we're going to take a look at some of the potential candidates, because the supreme leader does wield immense influence. He was after the cleric and leading figure at the front Ghulam Hussein Mohseni is also a potential candidate. He has been Iran's chief justice since 2021. And then there is Hassan Khamenei, the grandson of Ayatollah Khamenei, Iran's first supreme leader. He is a reformist figure and a prominent political leader. So let's go back to you, Ali, in Tehran. All of these names that are being mentioned as a potential successor to Khamenei, which one stands out to you?
There have been speculations or rough guesses that who could be the next leader, but it is up to the Assembly of Experts, a body which is more than 80, members, and there could be maybe some initial guesses on that, but they have to vote who could be elected as the new leader in the country. Some are guessing maybe by Araf becoming a member of the Leadership Council might have a chance for this, but the others could also have, such kind of chance. But there is no, let's say, precise, information that who could be the next, and we have to be waiting till the voting takes place in the Assembly of Experts. But the point is that there is no specific timeline mentioned in the Constitution that the assembly is expected to elect a leader, but I think Iranian, let's say, government and the current officials will try their best to make it as quickly as possible, to make this transitional period as short as possible, specifically at the time that there is an external aggression against the country. It makes it a bit difficult to arrange those kind of meetings, the voting, and the Expediency Council in order to elect Arafi as a member of the interim Leadership Council. They had, problems to convene. They consulted online or through phone calls. So for the Assembly of Experts, as long as this war goes on, that can be the case and the problem. But I think they will try their best at the earliest time possible to elect a new leader. But nobody knows who can that person be, and those speculations cannot be relied on that much.
And Rasul, this matters not just because the supreme leader is a political figure, but also because he's a spiritual one as well.
Indeed. So constitutionally, he's head of the state and he's a ruler. But on the other hand, he is regarded as a divine figure as well, because he is the wali faqih. Officially, the political system in Iran is a political theology somehow ingested into a constitution. And based on that constitution, the country's political system is called walayat faqih, so the Islamist jurist role. And he is guardian the authorization of the hidden imam, 12th imam, that entered an occultation in the 9th century, and it's believed by particularly the Shia Muslims that by the end of the time, he's going to come back and bring justice to the world. And up until he's back, he's returned, so the supreme leader is actually sitting at his position and using all the authorities on behalf of that hidden imam. So in this perspective, when you look at that, so you would understand why his followers are so much into him, why his death is such a huge blow, such a tragedy for his followers. Because I said, he's a head of state, he's a ruler, but also he is believed to be divinely ordained.
And not just in Iran.
Not only in Iran, beyond Iran. So we're talking about Lebanon, about Iraq, about South Asia, about Afghanistan, Pakistan, wherever there are Shia communities. So Ali Khamenei is an extremely iconic figure for them. He is the spiritual leader who is supposed to lead the nation through the hardships, ups and downs, to the salvation. And it's also a promise to the hidden imam. Almost, I will say that he is in a charge that is taking care of his children up until he is back. So in a sense, that is why when he announce a decree or make a decision, it is a binding one, because he's not making that decision or just announcing that decree by his own self, but rather on behalf of the hidden imam, who is going to come back at the end of the time and bring the ultimate justice to the whole globe.
Right. And so, Ali, in Tehran, to you, so that is obviously a very significant thing that is being replaced here. But as the country tries to do this while fighting a war and striking back not only against Israel and the U.S., but at American military targets and assets in the region, is there concern in Iran that it is going to isolate itself further in the region?
Well, the country was not caught by surprise this time, and they were planning beforehand to how to respond to any, foreign aggression coming against Iran. So that's why, despite the killing of the leader and senior commanders, we were seeing that the response coming from the Iranian side, trying to target different places and locations in the region, specifically American bases, and also, targets in Israel. This is important because Iranians earlier they had said that America and Israel could be the ones to initiate this war, but they will not be the ones to end it. It means that starting a war is not that significant as ending it, and the consequences the day after, how this will impact the regional competition, rivalry with Israel, or in a broader, let's say, prospect, the future regional order, which will be impacted as a result of the current developments, will matter to a great extent. And this is not just limited to Iran's nuclear program or missile activities, but it is part of a bigger game and the battle for deterrence, whereby the U.S., Israel wants to, gain absolute hegemony and domination in the region, but Iran is also resistant to keep that deterrence and balance.
Okay, Ali, thank you very much. It's just gone 11 GMT, and you're watching Al Jazeera's continuing coverage of the U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran. I'm Riley Carlson. Israel has been bombing Iran's capital, Tehran, for a second day. Large explosions have been heard across the city. Israel's military says it's carrying out what it's calling a broad wave of strikes in the heart of the Iranian capital. The U.S. and Israel launched coordinated strikes across Iran on Saturday, accusing Tehran of advancing its nuclear program. The Red Crescent says hundreds of people have been killed. Meanwhile, Iranians have poured into the streets of Tehran to mourn after the assassination of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. State media says he was killed alongside his daughter and several other family members. The country will observe 40 days of public mourning. Hamza Mohammed reports.
Another round of Israeli airstrikes target Tehran. Several explosions hit the city on Sunday morning. The Israeli military says it's carrying out a new wave of attacks on the heart of the Iranian capital. Also in Tehran, thousands took to the streets to mourn the assassinated supreme leader. They came out dressed in black, weeping and holding portraits of the late Ali Khamenei. They filled Inqilab Square in Tehran, many in shock, their grief palpable.
عزیزترین کسمون از
We lost our dearest person. We lost our elder. We lost our master. We gathered here because of this. I don't know what to say, really.
We kept saying from last night until the morning, it's a lie. Unfortunately, it was the truth.
Many are also demanding retaliation after Israel killed Khamenei.
It was shocking news that really fills one with anger, full of hatred towards Israel and America. We must avenge the blood of the leader.
Iran's Revolutionary Guard has declared what it calls its most intense offensive operation yet, saying it will continue to target Israel and US military bases in the region.
I'm telling Trump and Netanyahu, these two filthy criminals and their agents, very openly and transparently, you have crossed our red line and must pay the price.
Explosions have been had in Israel and several countries hosting US bases in the region. And in the Iraqi capital Baghdad, security forces used tear gas to disperse protesters who gathered near the US embassy. The assassination of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has left a power vacuum at the heart of Iran's political system and a region bracing for what comes next. Hamza Mohammed, Al Jazeera.
We have a team of correspondents covering this breaking story for us in Tehran, in Washington, D.C., Ramallah, in the occupied West Bank, and here in Doha. But first, we're going to go to Mohammed Val, who is in Tehran. Mohammed, we understand that there is an operation underway in Tehran today. There have been more explosions reported. What can you tell us about what's happening in the capital?
Yes, Marlene, for the first time since the beginning of this campaign, we have seen this action very close to where we've been staying and also close to the office here. And that's a new development because during the first day of strikes, it was mostly around the outskirts of the capital, Tehran, and in other cities. But now we have seen civilian or likely to be civilian institutions and facilities being targeted. Many targets here, but we don't have the details. We know that one of the most major airports of the country here in Tehran has been, the Mehrabad airport has been targeted, either the airport or around it. So that's a new development. Now we're seeing action in the middle of the capital, Tehran. And as I said before, this might be a message to those people who are still in doubt that this campaign is about to end, and those people who are still in doubt that this campaign is about probably regime change and, you know, the taking out of all the leadership of the country. They have now to know that their expectations are not true, and this operation is going to continue until the goals of the Americans and the Israelis